Hey there, my name is Philip, and I'm going to be talking a little bit today about my current spiritual situation, kind of the journey that my life has taken over the last 25 years to get me from where I was to where I am today. And they say that the best way to tell if someone is sick is to take their temperature. You can easily figure out exactly what their condition is just based on that alone. I can speak from experience and say that I wish it was that simple with spiritual condition. It'd be something that a simple reading on a thermometer can tell us exactly what our state is at that exact moment in time. It would have saved me a lot of heartache and a lot of wasted time trying to figure things out over the last 25 years. I grew up in a Christian home with parents who took me to church every weekend, put me through Sunday school. They did all of the right things that you would expect Christian parents to do. It wasn't something that we were over the top with. It's not something that we spent a lot of time talking about at home, things like that. But we did make sure that we were in church every weekend, and that's more than a lot of people my age had going for them. So it was great being able to grow up in that kind of condition of a home, but it didn't generate in me a relationship with God, a way to actually connect in my own special way. It was simply something that my family did as a whole. So because of that, I grew up thinking that it was simply a kind of checkbox, something that I needed to do a couple times each week, or each month, or every couple of months sometimes. It was something that I didn't have a personal connection to, something I didn't see a need for developing on my own. And that led to pretty long teenage years where I struggled through various addictions and just found myself not really knowing who I was, what I wanted to be, or really what my purpose was here. Those struggles were made worse by a family situation that became less healthy, less God-focused. I lived through my father attempting suicide multiple times, and that obviously has a pretty profound impact on a kid and can definitely cause them to feel abandoned and just unsure of kind of life in general growing up with that in the back of your mind as a possibility. So that kind of built into me a distrust of fathers, and everyone talked of God being our ultimate father, and I had a hard time understanding what that meant, why that would be a good thing, because my own example wasn't what I would consider to be a good one. So the thought of a God being my father was a hard one to grasp. God did finally break through to me when I was about 16 years old and really revealed that it was not just about me or my feelings, and that there was a very specific plan that he had in place for my life, and there was a love that he had that no one else did. So I took that and I ran with it, and I grew a lot spiritually in my middle teen years. Unfortunately, I kind of let it grow cold again, which is why I wish we had thermometers so that we could easily tell where our temperature's at any given moment. But I didn't. So I spent a couple years going back to some old sins and going back to a way of life that didn't bring any kind of satisfaction and just brought frustration and difficult times. And then once I was about 19, I reached kind of a rock bottom point where I realized how stupid I was and that I wasn't getting out of the pit I was in on my own, and came back to God, and for the first time experienced the weight of my own sin and the ways that I had let him down, the ways I had let myself down, and it truly experienced the love and the grace that only he's able to give for the first time truly in my life. And since that point, it's been no looking back. It's definitely been a growing process for me. There's been plenty of struggles along the way, falling into sins that I never intended to, but it's always been a journey met with grace. When I first returned back to my home church that I had abandoned for a couple of years as I was off doing my own thing in the world, God brought to my mind a verse from Joel 2:25 that says, basically, I will restore to you all the years that the locusts have eaten. And he's speaking to Israel, and the years of drought and insects eating away their crops, and the fact that he was going to rebuild what they had lost. He was going to not just bring it back, but to really bless it and make it even better. And that's what I felt like he was speaking to me that first day back at church, that the things that I had lost, the things that I had allowed locusts to eat away at, those things were going to be gone. That he was going to restore them and bring back not just the same old things, but better things. And it's something that I can definitely make testimony to, that life is not just what it was before my years of wandering. It's far better now, as I have a wife who loves the Lord, and a daughter and another daughter on the way who I pray one day come to know him as well. And it's been amazing to watch him move and work and grow through my own stupidity and kind of coolness and spiritual temperature at times. But he's always been consistent with me. He's always been faithful. I would say that some people say that being a Christian is like being a Republican. It's something that you put on your voter card. It's something that you claim based on where you grew up. And it's something that determines the kind of things you do in life. But I disagree. I would say that being a Christian is not about what you do in life. It's about why you do things in life. It should serve as a motivation for us and a reason for what we do in each day, not just the things we do, but why we do them. So that's me. That's where I've come from. That's who I am right now. God is a God of second, third, 27th chances at times. He never abandons us. He's always consistent with us, just like he was with Israel when he restored to them everything the locusts had eaten. When we try to abandon him, he is still there, ready to welcome us back in.